Hey guys, Mike coming back with another video. This time I am doing an update to kind of show, I don't know if I've shown my Barney Pelty collection in a while in its entirety. I have done one of these videos, but it seems like it's been at least a couple years ago. So I want to kind of get something to show everybody what I've got right now. And kind of make it, then I can look back on it in a year or two and see if I can make any upgrades to it. Hope everybody's doing well. I know this is for a limited number of people that would really care about Barney, but I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way I do. So let's get going. I'm going to show some cards first. This one is a 1906 Sporting Life St. Louis composite postcard. Very cool. These are, you see them pop up occasionally. They've gotten much more popular in recent years. I bought this one a few years back. It does have Branch Rickey on it as part of the team, which I've heard some people refer this as his rookie card. I'm not for sure if that's the case, but it does have Pelty on it, and very cool. I think Andrew was the first one I've seen these composites. I think he had a Boston one, and I thought, I wonder if the Browns have one and Pelty's on it, and they sure did, and I won that at an auction. This is a worst of a bunch of stuff that Love of the Game, I'm sure most of you all remember, it's a couple years ago probably now. Love of the Game auctions actually handled the Pelty estate auction. I can't remember, it seemed like there was about 30 or so lots of photos, cards, scrapbooks you're going to see that came directly from the Pelty estate, that since he owned these in the 1900s, they literally been in the family for 120 years or 110 to 20 years. And a lot of these were actually owned by Pelty himself. And I'll point those out as we go along. But this being the first one, this is a 1908 St. Louis Browns postcard. And you can see our boy down here. And something more common, this is his T202. I got in a nice grade though, it's a 6 SGC. Just a beautiful card. Don't see them that high very often. It should be the case for these too. This is, of course, is T206, the horizontal photo. A little off-centered, but it is a 6. It's real crisp. The corners are very nice on it. Very nice. And then the vertical version I got in a 5.5. And that is a sweet cap back on that one. And here is the 1912 T207. These have really dried up. You don't see them at all anymore. I got that one in a 5. Beautiful card. And I love the uniform. That's St. Louis on the uniform in blue is just awesome. One of my favorite cards of his. You don't see that one hardly ever pop up at all anymore. The very common T205 Piedmont. Nice condition. Hard to find them in good condition, that's for sure. These are the Silks, the S74s. It comes in a variety of these. Now these are both missing the background, or back tag on them. And I'll show you what that means in a second. And these are two color variations. I think they call it brown or rust maybe, and this one's like a red. I can't remember the terminology, but I didn't even notice I had two different ones until I started looking at them. And I'm not for sure how many colors there are. There are a few. As you see, this is a little bit darker. This is a little redder colored here. And I do have one with a back on it. This is a turkey red. And you don't see these at all. I bought an entire collection just to get the Pelty out of it. And I resold the cards and actually got this for almost free. So that worked out really nice. But to see them with the backs on them is very hard. I think there's 3 or 4 backs. It's like Old Mill, Turkey Red, Red Sun, and there might be another one. But I'm looking for those, of course. But these is so seldom pass up. It's hard to get them in anything right now. And this is a colored one. Mine's kind of, I don't know if it got wet or something. This is a red. These are actually a little different. These were it says 1911. The other ones are 1909. This one didn't have the backs on it. They had the names of like they had Turkey Red. This has got Old Mill at the bottom. So the colored ones have the names of the cigarettes at the bottom instead of on the back. I don't think they had a backing. So I have the Turkey Red and the 09, and the 11 I have the red. And if I'm wrong about that, please somebody, I take all the information I can get. And here is a Sporting Life M116, I believe, and a 4. I finally call that the vampire card, with the reddish cheeks they added, and the lips, and the upturned collar, and the part in his hair. It looks very vampire-esque to me, but maybe that's just me. And here's a tough one here. This is a Helmar. I got this off eBay years ago, and I couldn't believe it. It went for almost nothing. And I was like, I've never even seen a Helmar Pelty. Why is there nobody bidding on this? And I ended up getting it very cheap. So I thought when I sent it to SGC, I would be lucky to get it if it was authentic or not. And they actually gave it a 2. So I've only seen a couple of these over the years. Very hard to find. So that's my Helmar, the 2. And another card that's gotten super rare to find is these Ramleys. Mine's only in a 1. So you can see the corners and borders are a little beat up. It's got a little tear down here at the bottom, but it doesn't affect the face or most of the photo. Again, another vampire portrait. But I think these Ramleys are maybe one of the prettiest sets ever. I just love the gold with the design, and just very classy. Just a great picture, portrait photos, and I'm so glad Barney was part of that set. Supposedly there's a Pinkerton set, a T5 I think it is, and he's on a Sporting Life cabinets, W600. They're listed on the PSA checklist. I've never seen either one of them. If any of you all have seen them, please let me know, or even better, send me a picture if you've seen them or have the picture, or if you have the card. Some dealers have told me that they know people that if it was on a checklist that somebody put out, it existed. It must have meant that they actually saw the card. But for years, I've been asking people at the National and other places, is there a actual Pinkerton or W600 cabinet? And a lot of them say, I've never seen one. And like I said, they go by just the fact that a couple, they said if this person had it on a checklist, it must exist. So that means they actually saw the card. So if anybody has information on the Pinkerton or W600, let me know. These Ramleys go for good money now. And beautiful card, one of my favorites. I'm going to show some these Sweet Cap pens. I got this one a while back. I couldn't believe it. It actually graded a 9 from PSA. It meant 9. It's the highest one ever graded. I think it's the only 9. Even though it's got a little off center on the back. But beautiful piece. I got this and one of these Sweet Cap domino disc. Now these come in different colors. And I don't know if it's this or this. One of them's got like thin letters and thick letters. I'm not for sure which one. I have to go back, and I haven't seen any of them. You seldom see these now, and these either kind of dried up. This is the green. I got that in an 8, and then I bought the red in a 4. I know there's a blue. I lost an auction for that. And I think there's a brown. And again, if anybody's got any different colors, let me know. And then to a couple really nice pieces here. This is a ticket stub. And if you're trying to get tickets slabbed from back before, I don't know, 1910, 1915, a lot of teams didn't put dates on their tickets, or they might put the date but not the year. Sometimes they just had a number, like some people think that was like the number of the home game or road game or something like that. It's hard, but whoever had this ticket stub, it had printed it had August 14th, and he wrote on there, Ath 2, St. Louis won 12 innings, 1909. If you look that up, you find out it's a game between the Browns and the A's back in 1909, August 14th. And the neat thing about that is that, unfortunately, he lost, but Barney Pelty was one of the pitchers against Cy Morgan. He lost the game, but I mean, it's so cool to have a slabbed, authenticated ticket stub from a game from August 14th, 1909. And I begged him, I said, please put the winning and losing pitchers on there. And they got Pelty on the top, which is very cool. So one of my prize collections there. That is awesome. Now, the one that everybody would like for sure is the Breakstone postcard. This is from the Pelty estate. I think they had 5 or 6 of them. They sent them all to PSA. I think 3 graded a 4 and 3 graded a 5 or something like that. And I was lucky to get one of them for my collection. Just an amazing card. Maybe the most popular of all the Pelty cards, are on the top of a lot of people's list. But just an amazing card. And I'm going to go through some photos for you. Now, most of these maybe all of them came from the Love of the Game auction. This is a 1910 Charles Conlon cabinet photo from the Pelty estate. And, if everybody knows, Conlon is the premier of all the photographers back in that time. And that is just a beautiful, beautiful photo. PSA wouldn't slab it. They said it's a cabinet, so it's got a thick border around it, which maybe is something they can't slab because of that. They told me they would slab Conlon's, but they didn't do this one. But that is actually owned by Barney Pelty and it's so cool to think over 100 years later it comes to my collection after it had been in his family all that time. And we'll turn the page. And this is the authenticity from PSA. And I got this one from the auction too, from the Pelty estate. It's a Con Studio photo. In private life. Great photo of Pelty. You can see the Con Studio there. I don't know if I've shown all these. I guess I have. Here's another one from the dry photographer of Barney. This is from the Pelty estate also. Very cool. And this is the more common, but doesn't show up a whole lot, but you do see it occasionally. And this is a newspaper publication from St. Louis Republic. This is from his estate also. Actually, I got 3 of them in the same lot. I sold 2 of them to some other Pelty collectors. And I kept this one for myself. another photo. I don't know if I've got the... No, that's the one for that one. Another great picture. This is pretty large. This is like 7 by 12 or something like that. In uniform. Just an amazing picture. Does have damage, of course, to the bottom. I'm not for sure what that is. And it got tore at the corners, but I think it would frame up awful nice, which is something I'll do eventually. But just a beautiful photo of Pelty. Love the old uniforms. I wish you could find those uniforms. I'd buy that jersey in a second. Okay, and you already showed this one. This one does have a PSA also. This came from the Pelty estate. And this one says circa 1905 is what PSA put on it. So this is a younger Pelty here. It does have a tear at the bottom, of course, but this is from the Pelty estate. Thinking about framing it also. It's a pretty large photo. I think this was attached to some type of scrapbook or something and taken out. But just another... You just don't find photos of Barney. Very cool. And this is an oddball one from the auction for Love of the Game. That is actually Barney on his high school football team, if you can believe that. Now, I don't know why they didn't think it might be his baseball team, but when it was listed in the auction, I'm pretty sure it said it was on his high school football team. So that is pretty bizarre. Not for sure why they said it, or maybe the family told him it was. That's a possibility. And another couple things. I've showed this recently. It's our hometown postcard. And if you unfold it, it's going to look a lot like that one up there. I'll show you that in a minute so I don't have to get this out. These are some of the postcards. His family ran a bookstore in Farmington, Missouri. You can see in here the postcards made in Germany and sold by Pelty's Bookstore, importers and publishers of Farmington, Missouri. This postcard was just mailed to him by a friend in 1916. This is actually a photo of him and his son. I'm going to try to get this slabbed if PSA will do it. But as you can tell, it's much later, probably in the 20s, I would guess. Or maybe 30s, I'm not for sure. That's of him and his son. This is really cool. This is a scorebook from 1912. St. Louis Browns versus the Philadelphia Athletics. Program was Baker, Bender, Collins, Wallace, and the starting pitcher was Barney Pelty. I'm not going to get the actual scorebook out because it's very fragile. But I printed out the box score from the game. And it says St. Louis, June 6th. Inconsistent fielding by the locals enabled Philadelphia to tally 3 runs in the second inning. Good playing by the visitors helped them run up a total of 7 runs while the locals were making 2. Score. And it shows Pelty had 2 at-bats. If you've ever wondered, in the program, he is listed as number 17. So if you ever wonder what uniform number Barney had, it was number 17. At least according to the scorebook. So that's the photos I got, mostly from the Love of the Game auction. These are 3 scrapbooks I got. One day I'll have to go through them. When I'm retired, I'm going to try to go through them real thoroughly. They're very, very fragile. These are scrapbooks that Barney's wife kept. And all 3 of them were together in a lot in the Love of the Game auction. And they're just chock full of, she cut out photos. Pelty signs up for 1907 contract. Barney Pelty. And I don't want to turn the page too much because they're so fragile. I mean, you can just see the paper is coming off of them just sitting here. This one's detached. This one's got a nice official scorebook cover pasted into it. Here's a nice picture of Barney. And this is, I want to read that. They must have had great eyes back in the early turn of the century, because if you look at the typing, it is tiny on this thing. I can barely read it with my glasses on, my cheaters on. This talks about a letter to wee William Sudhoff that Barney was considering on retiring. And just stuff like that. There is a picture from his local newspaper of him getting engaged. Just all kinds of stuff. Here's another one. This is neat. This is something she cut out. His minor league experience was with the Cedar Rapids Rabbits. And this is some articles from games he pitched in. Rabbits make it 3 straight. Rabbits take the last 2. And there's a letter, a notice in the newspaper of Pelty was bought out by the St. Louis Browns in 1903. Pitcher Pelty goes to St. Louis. Star of the league was sold this morning. So I'm not for sure what league the Cedar Rapids Rabbits belong to, but apparently he was the star of the league in 1902 or 3 and went to the St. Louis Browns. They actually just had open bidding the way the article talks, and the Browns got him. And this will talk more on things. This is neat. There's a leaf that was put in the scrapbook, so no telling what that related to. It was probably something very sentimental to his wife, I would think. Pelty, Brown's clever twirler. So very cool. And this one here is thick. It is a big old binder. It looks like to me from first glance it actually covers the entire 1907 season. And that it's got tons of scraps from all the games and such and pictures. One day once I get through it, I'll take pictures and try to do a good synopsis of it. So just very cool stuff here. I got all 3 of those scrapbooks from the Pelty estate. And the last couple things is this trifold postcard from 1908, which I love. And let's see, where are you hiding at, Barney? There he is. And the last thing I believe I have is these 2 from the Sporting Life Company. Each year they made a binder. I'm not for sure what years, but through all the years I think Barney pitched, they would do these, and these are large. These are probably, I don't know, 10 by 14 or something like that. And they were bound in a book each year with all the teams in it. And if you can see where they used yarn or thread to hold them together, and you can see the holes where they went, and people would just, unbound the books and sell the individual teams. And there's Barney in 1907. And this one's got Barney in 1905. So, and that is it. I've got some modern stuff too. I'm not going to show that right now. I just want to go over mostly all the vintage stuff and show you what I got. If anybody has anything that I don't have, color variations, anything, let me know. That if it'd be interest to me. And maybe I could make a trade. One of these photos, I don't think I'd trade the Conlon, but I might trade one of these other photos to get something I really need, or I just buy it off of you with cash. So please let me know if anybody has anything that they would like to sell. And I appreciate you watching. And thank you very much. Bye-bye.